Welcome to the program, everyone, and really pleased today to have Daniel Priestley, who joined us in a previous show, and he's back again. And we're going to dig more into his concept in his book, Key Person of Influence, and something that Dent Global, Daniel's company, does is they... Daniel, welcome first. Good to have you back again. Good to see you. And
it's good to be back. We're wearing the same black t-shirts as last time.
I know, it's good coordination.
I know, we're both very much on brand.
Absolutely. And something that Daniel and his company does is you can actually do a test, a key person of influence assessment, if you like, which I did, and it'd be good to get some feedback on that, Daniel.
Yeah, let's go through it. We measured you up. We checked you out.
Yes. And
so essentially, like, we created 45 questions to ask, yes/no questions, and it measures you on 5 things. It measures you on pitch, publish, product, profile, and partnership, and gives you an overall score as well as a score for each of those 5 things. How did you find it?
It made me think. It really did make me think about my business, about my priorities, my value, my product. You know, it really did test me. So it was a useful exercise.
But you did well. You did really well. You came out pretty good.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it looks okay on the surface. There's some really good feedback in there too. There is some things, you know, some suggestions, and
your overall score was 70%, 69%.
Yes,
so it's a strong score with room to move.
Yes.
Yep.
Exactly. So yeah, I was 8 on pitching, 8 on publishing, 5 on products, 10 on profile, 8 on partnerships. So, which is that's your framework. Those. Do you want to explain those 5 Ps quickly, and then we can?
Yeah, let's go through them.
You can dig into what I'm doing, or doing well, or
so the first one is pitch.
Better. Yep.
So we start with pitch, and we say that key people of influence are good at pitching. They're great at communicating their ideas with clarity and credibility. They can get an idea across. They're comfortable pitching. And when we do work with clients, we actually look at 3 types of pitches or pitching scenarios that we kind of structure and build more thought around. And the 3 pitching scenarios that we look at is a social pitch, which is just a social setting. Someone says, "Tell me a bit about what you do." So that's having a good 20 to 30 second response to the social pitching scenario. The next one is called a scheduled pitch. And a scheduled pitch is any time that you've got a meeting in the diary that you're going to have to go and present at. You've probably got anywhere from 10 minutes to an hour to present, or you want to be prepared to pitch in a scheduled scenario.
Sure.
The third scenario is what we'd call a sales pitch. And a sales pitch is where you're there to specifically win business. You're there to close a sale or do a deal. And it often happens in that order. You might meet someone in a social setting, deliver a really good 20 to 30 second pitch, have a little bit of a conversation. They say, "Gee, I'd love to know more about that. Could we make a time to meet?" And then you have a really powerful meeting and it goes really well. They say, "Actually, I really want to bring in my head of IT to actually talk about implementing a solution. Could you come and meet myself and my IT person?" So then you've gone from a scheduled pitch, a social pitch, to a scheduled pitch to a sales pitch. So you want to be prepared for all 3 of those scenarios. Scoring high on pitching means that our little test has figured out that you're doing some of the right things that would have you perform well in each of those 3 scenarios.
Yes. So what are the key components of a pitch? What's important there?
They're different for each pitch. So, for example, social pitch, we measure a few things. We talk about name, same, claim to fame, aim, and a game. So that's our methodology for doing a great social pitch. So making sure that you communicate your name and your business name nice and clearly. What are you the same as? So most people try and differentiate too soon. So most people will say, oh, don't say that I'm a chiropractor. Say that I align spines and make people feel fine. It's like people need to know, what are you the same as? So just give it to me in really simple,
like
plain
an anchor.
English.
There needs to be some anchor they can relate to. Is it, or?
If it's a computer, if it was a computer, imagine opening a folder on the desktop, and you're just going to give that folder a little name, and you just want a nice simple name that you can remember. So if I say to you that I'm a solutions architect, right?
Yeah.
Like for most people, it's like, well, I don't even know what you're talking about. Or if I say that, I transform people's relationship with humanity's desire to, overwhelm the senses, and it's like, well, what the hell are you talking about? But if I say I'm a chef, or if I say I do sales training, or if I said I work in the fashion industry, so something nice and simple, name and same, a box to put yourself in. And then we want to burst out of the box with a claim to fame.
Okay.
So I might say, I run training programs for entrepreneurs. And I could then say, I've written 4 best-selling books on entrepreneurship.
Right.
So that's a claim to fame.
Right.
So I've made it really simple, and then I've made it interesting.
Sure.
And then an aim. An aim can be, essentially an aim is normally, what are you up to in the next 90 days? So in the next, you might say, so I'm an entrepreneur by background. I run training programs for entrepreneurs. I've written 4 best-selling books on entrepreneurship. And at the moment, I'm getting a new venture funded in the data marketing technology space. So name, same, claim to fame, and then aim, what am I doing in the next 90 days? And game, what's my big game? So what is it I'm really passionate about? So big game, my passion is to develop entrepreneurs who can stand out, scale up, and make a positive impact in the world. And I'm working on aligning thousands of businesses to the United Nations global goals.
Oh, wow. I like it. Well, I feel like I've got a lot of work to do.
Yeah. So
my pitch a little bit.
All of that would fit within 20 seconds.
Yes.
But what I'm doing there is I'm giving people 1, 2, 3, 4 things to engage with. And the truth is if I'm in a social setting and I share a pitch that's 20 seconds that gives people a few things to engage with, if the person listening to that doesn't really engage, they might go, oh, okay, well, that's interesting. Sounds like you're pretty busy. I'm going to go and grab a drink at the bar. All right, I'm going to go over here and talk to someone else. Yeah. That's actually not a bad response. It just means that you've not wasted a lot of time. If the engagement is low if you give a clear and credible pitch and the engagement's low, that's fine. That's actually a great result. It means that you didn't waste 15
it's
minutes
like a
of
quick
your time
no.
trying to figure it out.
We talk about it's good to get a quick no. Yeah. Then sort of wait,
exactly.
Right? And move on to a prospect that actually fits what you sell or what you do. So
I remember years and years and years ago, I was at the horse races in England, and I was chatting with someone, and they said, "Oh, tell me, where are you from?" And I said, "Oh, I've just arrived from Australia." And then she said, "I hate the Australian accent." And I went, "Fabulous!
Just move on.
I don't have to waste 20 minutes getting to know you."
Okay, so that's the pitch, or there are other components of the pitch too. But let's move on to publish. Okay, so publish is the next step. I did score an
So publish is it's about turning your ideas into blogs, articles, white papers, and ultimately a book.
Right. Okay. So
getting your content published in the world.
Right. Okay. And this is
So it's
not
important
just,
because
this is not just like brochures or talking about your product, promoting
no, you've got
product.
to publish your own. You got to publish your own content, and this is
Yes.
important because when Google goes looking for anything, it starts with text. It actually starts with blogs, articles, books. Google has got every book ever written in its search algorithms. It's got all the descriptions of all the blogs. It's got everything. So if you don't write what you know into text, Google can't find you. People can't find you. If you do put what you know into text, then you'll get a lot of opportunities come through search engines. And we live in a world where it's very easy to share anything that's text-based. So if I've written a blog about something, I can tweet that, I can send it over to someone on an email, a client can share it with them, an editor of a magazine can say, can we run that in the magazine? So anything that's been written into text becomes very scalable and it creates duplication.
Sure.
So when you publish, you actually take all that great knowledge in your mind and you just put it in a format that can scale all over the world.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. Good.
So that's the next one. Really important.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. All right. Now we've got product, and I didn't score so well on product here. I think the other areas are okay,
Yeah,
but
so
this was a 5 for me.
it just means that your current method of delivery is probably one-to-one, or it probably involves your time pretty heavily.
Yep.
Would that be safe to say?
That's true. So currently, that's what I'm doing. I'm selling myself, my time, or taking on a project for a price and delivering that.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, and look, that's not a bad way to do things, and that's a high value approach for doing things. So it's about either that you continue to do it that way, but you put some products around it as well.
Yes.
Or it's that you move away. It depends on whether. See, there's two types of people who deliver things one-to-one and use their time. There are some people who absolutely love that. So I personally, I love working with clients one-to-one.
Right.
In fact, I would prioritize that above most things. I just enjoy being up to my elbows in entrepreneurs and their problems and all that sort of stuff. So even though I don't have to do that, I actually enjoy doing that. And that's where I get my best stories and insights from. So I really like doing it. But I meet plenty of people who hate doing one-to-one. They hate working with people. They want to be able to be at a distance. So I won't ask you which one you fit into.
Yeah. Well, I think I'd like to do both because I see,
knowing you probably love doing one-to-one.
No, I do, and like you really get your insights and being at the coalface. Working with the sales leader, helping them develop their team, saying, we're going to target this group of accounts over the next 3 months. What's our strategy going to be? What's our value prop? And seeing that through, I find that really exciting. But so I'd like to keep doing that with, maybe half of my time, but the other half, I'd like to have something more scalable that
more productized approach.
Yeah. And the value for the second one comes from the first one, from the insights and keeping fresh.
Exactly.
Being current, right? So that's
exactly
where I'd like to go.
So
like now I'm 80% booked on one-to-one, and I'm spending about 20% on a bit of branding and marketing. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's several ways we can productize you. We can package you up. So I'll give you an example of packaging you up. One of my fitness training clients in the UK, he personally does he was doing body transformations one-to-one with his clients, where he would actually take them through the entire process of body transformation.
Yep.
But then he realized that there's only a few key moments that is really, really high value in the body transformation that he does that no one else can do. And he said, actually, the nutrition is not necessarily his strong suit, but he found an amazing nutritionalist in South Africa who he thought she was one of the best in the world. And he said, why don't you do the diet plan for my clients, and I'll package you in as one of the best nutritionalists in the world that I rate really supremely to come in and do that diet plan. And he also had this boxing coach who had actually been a champion boxer, and had also trained a number of champion boxers. And he was basically this really great boxing coach. And he said, I'm going to package in 1 or 2 boxing sessions a week for 12 weeks with this particular boxing coach, because I'm not a boxing coach, but boxing is one of the best ways to get your fitness up, and it's really fun and engaging for a lot of people.
Yes.
So he started packaging in the food, the nutrition, the boxing, and then he said, okay, people want to do before and after shots. They want to get photos of before, which anyone can do. But I want them to get a photo after. I want to get them 12 weeks later when they're in better shape. I want to get a really great photo session. So he packaged in a photo session to celebrate. And he used that as a milestone that they're going to be doing a photo. If he said, on day 1, we're going to commit to doing a photographic session of you with your shirt off at the end of 12 weeks, and we're going to publish those photos.
Okay. That's a good incentive. Yeah.
Great incentive, right?
Idea.
So
Absolutely.
he packaged that in. So all of these things added up to a much more valuable package. And and actually, by just focusing on, there was probably 30% of the time that was the really high value. So he's got a very unique skill set around high intensity training and getting people to massively fatigue themselves in under 20 minutes. And he calls that pushing the reshape button. So what was interesting is that he just focused on that particular component, and he was also really good at communicating the story of transformation to people who are partners at Accenture, partners at Ernst & Young, partners at PwC. So he had a real unique ability to go in and sell the programs. So he focused on the 2 things that he's really good at, which is selling the programs to these high-end people, and also doing about 30% of the work and putting 70% of the work onto his team. So he gave that package a name. He gave that package a brochure. He gave that package a timeline of features, advantages, and benefits, packaged it all up, and productized it. Now that allowed him to have a lot more scalability. And essentially his business went from, pretty healthy to very, very financially rewarding.
Oh, makes a lot of sense.
That's just one example of how you can package up.
Yeah, exactly. All right.
That's just one angle.
Yes. Yeah. Understand. All right. And I know the sequence is important here. You can see the logic here. We get our pitch right. Then we start publishing. We're building our presence. Then you've got to have a product when people get interested. Like you, I know you talk about in the book, no point having the product at the beginning or not having the product later and so forth, right? And so now we get to profile. So what's in profile? I actually scored.
Well, once you productize, once you productize, the key thing is that you now have additional capacity that you can look after a lot more people once you productize. So, I mean, theoretically, let's go into a different type of product. Let's say that you productize by creating some software or creating an online learning management system, a learning management approach.
Sure.
So online education or software, something like that. Yeah. Now you've got the whole world as your market. You could look after hundreds of people, thousands of people through that approach. So you need to build a profile. You've got to be known, liked, and trusted by more people. You've got to have, when people Google you, they've got to see that you're the authority in the space, and that people say great things about you. And you have to have more and more people getting to know who you are and what you're about.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So we get our product right that can be sold to lots of people. Then we go out and build our audience in a big way. And I've seen folks who are maybe 3-4 years ahead of where I am in this business who have done that exceptionally well. They've built an audience like you, 25,000 or 50,000 people. They're in regular contact, and they've just got a fantastic flow of opportunities just coming pretty consistently. Yeah,
brilliant.
Yeah.
So the final one is that the real money step is in partnerships. So once you've got a great profile, people want to do partnerships with you. So in normal small business, we think about signing on customers and going networking, looking for customers. there comes a turning point where you stop going looking for customers and you actually go looking for partners. So the real value of networking, you in your early days, you used to go out saying, okay, how can I find someone who wants to buy some sales training? And then eventually you get to the point where you go, how can I find someone who has access to thousands of companies that need sales training? How can I find someone who has access to funding in order to fund expansion into a new country? How could I find access to someone who has a complementary product that would be perfect for me to sell to my marketplace? So you no longer go looking for customers, you go looking for partnership deals. And that's when you know you're really a key person of influence, because your focus shifts from another customer to another partner.
So a bit like your fitness example, those sort of partnerships that he built, is that the sort of thing you're talking about? Or
yeah, so those were partnerships.
Those sort of partnerships were built to create
product capacity.
Yeah.
But for example, at the moment, I'm exploring a partnership with a university campus, and the university, they want to accredit our programs with a university certification, and that will add a lot of value to us, and it'll give us a whole new pipeline of distribution. Sometimes I host dinners called affiliate partner dinners, and that's where we find people who have more than 50,000 followers in the entrepreneur space. We host a dinner with them, and we basically introduce them to our affiliate marketing portal so that they can become a marketing partner to us.
Yes.
So that would be an example of partnership.
Sure.
Sometimes we find people who are famous. At the moment, I've got a technology business, and one of the things that we're doing is identifying a list of famous people who could benefit from our technology, and we'll actually set them up on that technology for free in exchange for them being publicly featured on our website. Yeah, so that's a brand partnership, a brand endorsement partnership.
Yeah, okay. So there's lots of angles on the partnership. I was thinking specifically of other businesses who sell something to the customers that I want as well, right? And somehow putting something together that would help both of us.
Yeah. So, for example, there's a software called Pipedrive.
Yeah.
I think they're based in the Netherlands or Stockholm. Great little piece of software, good for salespeople to use. So there's potentially a partnership there that you could offer that to all of your clients, or they could offer you to all of their clients.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. That's a good one. Yeah, very good. Very good. All right. So, Daniel, we covered your 5 steps there, 5 Ps. What else should we bear in mind around KPI and the how this whole thing holds together?
Until you're strong on all 5 of those, you're leaving a lot of money on the table. That's probably worth bearing in mind, that it's the combination of all 5 working harmoniously that really creates the uplift. It's almost like a multiplier factor, that if any of those scores is a 0, then they all drop down. If all of them are strong, it's not that they add to each other, they multiply. So if you've got a great pitch and that pitch is powerfully communicated in a best-selling book, and that best-selling book is linked to an online product that's scalable, and you've got a really healthy following of tens of thousands of people on Instagram, and you've got partners who are really credible and scalable, suddenly the whole thing clicks into gear.
It would.
And it just takes off.
Sure.
And that's where you go exponential.
Wow. Well,
and it's funny because you're going exponential. There's a point of growth that you get to where the effort that was required to go from 100,000 a year to 200,000 a year takes you from 1 million to 2 million or 5 million to 10 million. It's the same amount of effort on your part, but now the numbers go crazy.
Yes.
So, like for example, in the UK, if you want to be in the top 1% of income earners you earn, I think, £165,000 a year. That's how much is your taxable income. Puts you in the top 1%. But once you go into the top 1%, as you climb into it, it gets very rapidly into 360,000, 570,000, right? A million.
Okay.
So inside that 1%, it just goes, okay. Right? It goes exponential. And what's crazy is that if you go right back to the average income in the UK, I think it's about £27,000.
Wow.
And then if you get into the top 10%, it's only £50,000, and then the top 5% only takes you to £75,000. So if you think about it, to go from the middle to the top 10% only gets you £25,000 extra. To go from the top 10% to the top 5% gets you £25,000.
Yep.
But after you hit that top 5%, it's like extra 25 grand. It becomes incredibly easy to make a lot more money, because you've now got everything goes exponential at the top end.
Yes.
Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, exactly. So if you get this right, you're going to get a disproportionate share, or disproportionate share of attention.
It's exactly that.
Yes.
Yeah. It's like the Olympics. 12 people run the race, 3 people get a medal, all the money goes to gold, silver, and bronze, all the fame goes to gold, silver, and bronze disproportionately.
Yes.
And everyone else pays to be there.
Yeah. And the gold is getting probably 10 times or 100 times more than the silver and the bronze winners, aren't they?
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Well, Daniel, I think
the beauty of being in business.
Tell me.
Is there's lots and lots of gold medals.
Yeah, sure. Okay, then you got the top of the top gold medals. Yeah, exactly. So, Daniel, I really appreciate it. And I think all the listeners would have got a lot out of the structure for being a key person of influence. And I really appreciate the personal consulting on what I should be doing. And I've got a lot of actions and things I need to follow up on as well. So really appreciate that.
Thanks for having me on the show again.
Yeah, no, it's great to see you again, and we'll stay in touch. And if people want to get a hold of you or find you, where should they find you, actually?
Yeah, so if people want to take the scorecard that you took, it's if they just do a Google search for Key Person of Influence Scorecard, it's completely free of charge. So they can just go online and do Key Person of Influence Scorecard. So just do a Google search for that. And then if people want to keep in touch, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, all of those, I'm very active.
Yeah, very good. You're very easy to find, which is a testament to your brand, which is, so you'd hope that you were easy to find. But we'll put a couple of links in the show notes as well, so folks can get in touch and start following you. So great. Thanks a lot, Daniel. We'll hopefully talk again soon. And
thanks so much.
Take care. Bye for now.